Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. I'm Chris, this is my channel. How this channel works is I like to drink craft beer, I like to review craft beer, and I don't like to pay a whole lot of money to do it. So the beers that I review usually come in around the $2 price range. Occasionally they do go slightly over, and such is the case with today's selection. I paid $2.29 for a 12-ounce can. This is the Stone Tropic of Thunder Lager. It's listed down here at the bottom as a tropical lager. This is 23 days past its best by date. I'm of the mind that if you're still within 30 days of your best by date, it's within range. So yes, it is 23 days past the enjoy by date, but nonetheless, that's still pretty good. This does have a 5.8 ABV. Typically, American lagers come in between 4.2 and 5.3 ABV, so this actually is kind of boozy for the variety. Also, American IBUs usually come in between 8 and 18 IBUs. I'm sorry, American lagers come in between 8 and 18 IBUs. This one comes in at 45, so it's exceptionally high for the variety. Just to give you some stats on the review community, um, 14 of my friends on Untapped gave this a cumulative score of 3.84. 23,000 of us gave it a cumulative score of 3.61. And Beer Advocate had 179 rankings, giving it a 3.82, which on their scale is a very good ranking. This beer has Citra, Mosaic, and a new hop called Cashmere. So that's should prove to be pretty interesting. I would read you, I'm going to show you here this whole thing. Yeah, I've read through that whole thing. It's not particularly, it doesn't tell a whole lot about the beer. It's more this fictional story of how to, where you were when you enjoyed the beer. It's strange. But anyway, that's the case with that. And as I said, I paid $2.29 for this 12-ounce can. Now, what I will mention is that typically Stone is known for their IPAs. They've got a lot of really good IPAs. And in fact, we're brewing IPAs a little before the whole IPA craze, so I don't fault Stone for being a little IPA happy like I do some of the other brewers. If you watch this channel with any regularity, you know that I'm fond of IPAs, but I also am fond of brewers trying to find a variety other than IPA to brew because there seems to be a real glut of them on the market. So, anyway, that's the ins and outs of that. I'm going to be using my St. Archer pint glass. Lagers are typically drank out of pint glasses, and they're also supposed to be drank very cold and rather fresh. As I said, 23 days past enjoy by date, well within range. My St. Archer pint glass was a gift from a friend of mine, my man Steve at Total Wine at Boca Park. If you're ever here in Las Vegas at the west end of the valley, go check out the Total Wine at Boca Park. Ask for Steve. He's one of the beer guys. Very knowledgeable, very friendly, great guy. Check him out by all means. All right, let's crack this bad boy open and see what it pours like. When I went to the description, I don't remember it saying anything about the color, so let's just see if it's typical lager color, and it is. Very, very pale, very straw colored. What you're actually seeing is, I'd say, at least 2 shades darker than the color of the beer. I really enjoy it when the camera actually picks up the color of the beer instead of a variation of it. And guys, what you're seeing is, like I said, at least 2 shades, maybe even 3, or at least 2.5 different than this beer, because this is very, very golden and pale in color. Kind of hazy, but not overly so. I can actually see my hand through the glass as I do that. The head is actually a little more sturdy than lager heads are. Normally, lager heads are very, very flimsy. This one's showing a little sturdiness. I'm going to describe this as being, I'd say, medium-high carbonation, not overly carbonated. And lagers can be either hot, they're known for having higher carbonation. Um, Already, I can smell the hops, and I'm going to do a quick beard wipe, see what we come across. Okay, smelled sort of a sweetness. I'm going to put my schnoz right in, see what we come up with. Hops, very tropical smelling. I have to say, it's very tropical smelling. I mean, it almost pina colada like in its tropical smells. I can smell pineapple. I can smell almost a coconut. Very fruity. Very oh, I mean, tropical. It describes it right here on the can, as I showed, as a tropical lager down there at the bottom. And at least in bouquet, it's definitely coming through with that. So I think I should quit yapping my flap, start drinking some beer. Cheers. Okay, that's a very interesting lager. I thought with that super hoppy um, bouquet that I was going to have an exceptionally bitter flavor. Even at 45 IBUs, I thought, okay, this is going to be kind of bitter for a lager. And maybe it is. Maybe I will say it's maybe a little bit bitter for a lager, but not overly bitter. And it does have a sort of a crisp flavor to it. Not a particularly high mouthfeel, a little bit of an alcohol burn, which, considering that it is higher in the ABV than typical American lagers, it's not altogether surprising to find out that we've got a little bit of booziness to it, but it's not overly. I mean, I don't feel like, I don't feel overwhelmed by the booziness. I'm just saying it is there. You do feel a slight alcohol burn. Refreshing and crisp, like a lager is supposed to be. This is not. It's not inundated with flavor, and quite frankly, a lager isn't supposed to be. A lager is supposed to be just enjoyed. I mean, when I hear somebody say that their favorite variety of beer is lager, I always think, really? I mean, there's nothing wrong with lagers. I like lagers too, but why make that your favorite variety? It's like saying that your favorite flavor of spirit is vodka. Vodka is known for taking all the flavor out of it, until you add flavor to it. So I feel kind of the same way about lagers. People who say that their favorite variety are lagers, that's great, but I don't really think of you as being a real fan of beer then, if your favorite variety of lager is lagers. But this, as I said, is crisp. It's refreshing. It's not an overly spiky mouthfeel, so I'm even going to describe it as a low mouthfeel. A little bit of sweetness, but not overly. I mean, really, I would not call this a sweet beer. There's just a slight sweetness to it. Clean and crisp and all around a good beer. I've got to hand it to Stone. They came through on this one. So if you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And gang, until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.